Look at me, I'm in the shade. Hey guys, Johnny Nerd out here. Got another custom e-bike build for you. I want to go over what bike this is, what we did to it, and why this bike is awesome, and why it's way better value than what you could buy. So let's get right into it. This is the Specialized Hardrock Sport 29, which means it's got 29-inch wheels. This is an older bike. The customer brought this to me. He said he's had it for like 15, 20 years. So it's an older model, but this is perfect. This is a great example of somebody wanting to get into an e-bike, doesn't want to get a crappy one. You still want to get a good e-bike. You have a bike in your garage that you bought 15, 20 years ago. You spent $500-600 on it 20 years ago. You're like, man, I had that good bike and I just haven't been riding at all because for reasons. And now you want to get a bike. Or maybe you're looking for a donor bike to convert into an e-bike, but you don't want to spend, maybe you're on a tight budget. You know, you could probably get one of these on a marketplace or on Craigslist, something similar like that for a couple $100. And this is a Specialized. These are the names you want to look for: Specialized, Trek, things like that. If you don't know anything about bikes, look for a Specialized, Trek, or a Giant, something along the lines of that. You can't go wrong. They generally don't make garbage bikes. They generally never have made garbage bikes. And that's a free slogan for you, Specialized and Trek. We don't make garbage bikes. So let's get right into it. We put on a BBSHD motor. This is the 1,000-watt motor. They'll put out about 1,700 watts peak. We put a gear shift sensor on it right here. And we ran the wiring up this way because it's a really long cord. I always like to use the length of those cords as much as possible. We put a rack on it so he could use this as a commuter. He's going into the military, so he's going to be using this. He's going to be in California, so with all that traffic and all that, you don't want to be dealing with a car. So he's going to be using this as a car. This is the great way to go. We put an integrated headlight onto it, so it's powered off of the battery and it's controlled by the display here. You press and hold the plus button and it turns it on and off. We also went with a backup 500 lumen rechargeable lights, front and rear. And these are rechargeable, and these are a little bit brighter than this one. So he's stacked. He's got plenty of lighting here. We went with a 500C color display for a display. It's a nice color display, shows you voltage, so it's a more accurate display. The gas gauge that comes with these displays, never very accurate. So I always, if you're a data nerd and you want to know exactly where your battery's at, get one that shows voltage. Next to it, we've got the throttle. You don't have to pedal while you're throttling. Yes, you could have a throttle on a mid-drive. All these questions I get asked all the time, trying to answer them as best I can. Put a 48 volt 11.6 amp hour battery. This has a 30 amp BMS, so it means that it will put out 30 amps, and then the BMS, battery management system in here, will cut out at 30 amps. The BBSHD draws 30 amps, so you want to match those two. You know, if you're going for high performance, you want to match it. You want to get a battery that can match your motor. If you're not going for like super high performance, then that doesn't really matter. It doesn't even matter what these numbers are. Talk to somebody like me if you're unsure about that. I could guide you on how to match your motor and your battery so that one's not drawing too much, and so you're not buying something that's overkill for your motor. For the chainring, we went with the Lekkie 42 tooth. This is a good commuter chainring, I think. This would be good for commuting up to about 30 miles an hour for pedaling. You could hit the throttle and still go faster, but this is still gonna be good for like hill climbing. If you want better hill climbing, go with the smaller chainring. All right, let's go do a Johnny Nerd Out test, see how this bad boy can performs on hill climbing and top speed just by using throttle. And what I do with that is test it on a 30-degree incline from a standstill at the base of the hill, and I also do it with a running start, and then I also just do a flat out top speed test only using throttle. Hit it. All right, so you can see 35 miles an hour. I mean, what else do you want out of this? That's moped speed. Hill climbs, no problem. And you can see, like, it definitely looked like it struggled going up that hill, but that's a crazy hill from a standstill. You never will be using that in real life, probably, hopefully. But from a rolling start, this thing handles no problem. If you want better hill climbing, put a smaller chainring up, but you are gonna use your top end while you're pedaling. So it's all about using that gear ratio. Or you could always just put a bigger cog back here and leave this the same, and that way you don't mess with your gear ratios. A lot of flexibility with these mid-drives. That's why you starting to get why I love these things so much. There's a lot of flexibility, a lot of swapping, a lot of customization. Okay, I think that does it with this bike. Thank you. See ya.